Guns are for killing.
Yes, guns are for killing. They're never prejudiced. They kill the rich and poor. The young and old. The great and beloved. The police protector and the twisted agitator. At first, some cry out, but later, tears dry out and retreat to the heart, for only death is forever. Isn't it time for us to make a sincere endeavor, which is better late than never? To bury some guns forever, so our tomorrows can be better.
We shall explore this question after this message.
A gun alone is harmless, but the moment it is united with a human hand, it becomes a deadly weapon. This is a fact. Everything presented on this program will be fact. We've stuck to facts because the subject is far too important to let theory or hearsay or hunches or probabilities enter into the picture. It's not a very pleasant picture, but it's one every American should take a good look at. It started on April 14th, 1865, when President Lincoln was shot to death. Then on July 2nd, 1881, President Garfield was shot to death. On September 6th, 1901, President McKinley was shot to death. And on November 22nd, 1963, President Kennedy was shot to death. The facts show that since 1865, one of our presidents has been killed by a gun on an average of every 24 years. Even more shocking is the fact that we still do not have one effective law to control the sale and possession of guns. You need only to check your daily newspaper to see the ever-increasing rate of gun slayings in America. For reasons we can credit only to disinterest, the shooting of our president and hundreds of other innocent victims has failed to stir enough interest to cause any action. This, as we shall see in a moment, has left the way open for the continued shooting of our presidents and thousands of other less known but nonetheless innocent citizens. President Kennedy, whether you voted for him or not, was the president of your country when he was shot down. Have you stopped to think it could have been someone even closer to you than your president? Such as a husband, or a son, or a daughter, or even you. If you think it is impossible, check your newspapers. You'll see that such people are shot quite regularly. You'll discover they are not all gangsters. On the contrary, the victims are too often people just like you. It appears the only thing the Dallas shootings brought about was death and a great deal of finger-pointing.
Fidel Castro was behind this.
It was those right-wing capitalists.
It was the Secret Service job to protect him. Why didn't they do it?
The Dallas Police Department is a national disgrace.
I think his mother has to accept part of the blame.
It was those white segregationists.
You know it was those northern integrationists. That's why they picked the South to do it in.
Take your choice. Rest assured, it'll be debated for years to come. So let's advance to basic facts that are not debatable, such as what were the basic ingredients needed for the Dallas gunslayings, or for that matter, any gunslayings. Only two: a man and a gun. Keep one separated from the other, and who can debate that some murders could be prevented? Rigid laws controlling the sale and possession of firearms will not eliminate murder. But wouldn't such laws reduce the ever-increasing rate of murder? During the filming of this program, we were impressed by the number of people who were convinced that what happened in Dallas could never happen in their hometown. Here is the answer to that. This is Dr. Paul Walter, a psychiatrist recognized as expert by the federal courts and members of the medical profession. We asked Dr. Walter to estimate how many people walking our streets today are potentially capable of committing murder.
Contrary to public opinion, the actively insane individual rarely does commit murder. The people who do are usually the people who react violently and are incapable of controlling their impulses. These groups of individuals are usually eccentrics or personality disorders. The personality disorders in general are antisocial personalities, immature personalities, delinquent personalities, and so forth. Under special circumstances, which would include extreme provocation or extreme frustration, these individuals are capable of committing murder. These individuals are the ones who are usually arrested for aggravated assault and for attempted murder. Usually they are freed and will at some time probably commit murder. We know there are very many people in this category. However, their exact numbers are certainly not known to us.
The official figures published by the FBI show that in 1963 there were 140,000 charges of aggravated assault in the United States. Aggravated assault is classified by the FBI as assault with intent to kill or for the purpose of inflicting severe bodily injury. Aggravated assault does not include assault and battery or fighting. Now, out of the 140,000 people charged with aggravated assault in 1963, 50,000 were acquitted or released for lack of evidence. Official estimates are that 25% of the people released were guilty, which means that 12,500 persons guilty of aggravated assault were set free in 1963 alone. And if that figure doesn't frighten you, multiply it by 10 years. This adds up to one thing. Our cities have an abundant supply of potential killers walking the streets. As we pointed out earlier, people are just one of the necessary ingredients of murder. The second necessary ingredient for murder is a weapon. The FBI lists 6 classifications of murder weapons. First, there is the unknown or unclassified weapon, and only 195 murders were committed with unknown or unclassified weapons. Then there are miscellaneous weapons, such as poisons. The miscellaneous classification also covers explosives like dynamite, nitroglycerin, or any homemade type bomb, arson, and drowning. These miscellaneous weapons murdered 240 people. Next is personal weapons, which includes strangulation or blows from the hands or feet. Personal weapons murdered 667 people. The next classification seems to be more popular with mystery writers than with murderers. It's the blunt instrument, including hammers and baseball bats. Blunt objects murdered 469 people. Not very effective as compared with our next classification, the knife. cuttings and stabbings murdered 1,756 people in the United States. This leaves only one other classification. Guns. Guns are the number one murder weapon in the United States. Guns murdered 3,931 people in the United States. While there are no exact figures available, in fairness to the sportsman, it should be pointed out that shotguns kill more birds than people. Sporting rifles kill more wild animals than people. But sportsmen, policemen, and criminals can tell you that pistols kill more people than animals.